This is ABC 7 News at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, a class action lawsuit filed in Penobscot County Superior Court last week accuses Northern Light Health of sharing people's personal private medical information with Facebook, Google, and other sites.
The plaintiff in the lawsuit is a patient identified as Jane Doe. The suit alleges that as early as October of 2018, Northern Light Health, quote, knowingly configured and implemented into its website code-based tracking devices known as pixels, which collected and transmitted patients' private information to Facebook and other third parties without patients' knowledge or authorization. The suit also alleges that those trackers, including the Metapixel, tracked users' interactions with the Northern Light website or portal and transmitted the information to third parties, including IP addresses and pages viewed, search terms, button clicks, and form submissions. It says the pixels can also connect patient portal activity to an individual's unique Facebook ID, allowing a user's health information to be linked with their Facebook profile. The plaintiff says she believes that due to the operation of the Metapixel on the Northern Light website, her search terms, medical services viewed, and patient portal activity were all transmitted to Facebook and other parties. Northern Light Health is strongly denying the allegations in the lawsuit, saying in a statement, quote, Northern Light Health categorically denies and rejects in the strongest possible terms any allegations that it inappropriately shared private or personal medical information with third parties such as Facebook or Google. The complaint is a replication of scores of lawsuits brought against leading hospitals and healthcare providers across the country for their use of website analytics technologies, which is a best practice across industries. The inaccurate allegations in the complaint are replete with speculative and false allegations that recklessly mischaracterize our information privacy and security practices. These claims are inappropriately alarmist and a disservice to our patients and communities, end quote. The lawsuit says that the plaintiff became aware of the alleged inappropriate tracking activity when she began getting highly targeted, specific health-related advertisements related to depression, respiratory devices, and inhalers reflecting her private medical treatment information.
In other news, Maine State Police's top brass were once again in the hot seat answering questions from the commission investigating the Lewiston mass shooting. Our Augusta reporter Corey Bouchard was there and has more about what was said.
I hope we never have something like this again, but if we do, that'll be on the top of the list.
Colonel William Ross, the commander of the Maine State Police, spent 2 hours testifying and answering questions, detailing the communication between police and the public through the use of social media and press briefings, as well as the communication between the various law enforcement agencies involved.
Communication is critical. Communication can always be improved upon, and that's what we're here today, is to tell you what we did and maybe things that we would do a little bit differently.
Ross said around 800 tips came in during the manhunt. Ross added that a bulletin sent to police agencies and intended only for law enforcement was leaked on social media shortly after it was released on Wednesday, which complicated the search.
This is the actual MIAC bulletin that went out that day. It shows a picture of Robert Card. This particular bulletin ended up on a Facebook post from somebody not in law enforcement very early on, and that presented a problem and a challenge for us, because if it happens once, it's going to happen again. Trying to track that down is, looking for a needle in a haystack, and with what priorities we had, that wasn't going to be an operation we were going to do. So essentially, we stopped using the MIAC bulletin.
Detective Sergeant Greg Roy, the tactical team commander, described the positives and negatives from the shooting response.
One of the biggest positives of this was how seamlessly our Maine-based tactical teams work together. And I think it's unique because a lot of states throughout the country have dozens of tactical teams, SWAT teams in their state. And so just because of that scope in itself, you can't have the familiarity that maybe we do here in Maine.
The commission will likely have one more public hearing in early June to hear from an Army psychologist at West Point before releasing their final report sometime mid-summer. In Lewiston, I'm Corey Bouchard for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, the Washington County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting in Steuben on Thursday. Deputies responded to a home on Augusta Drive and found a male victim with a non-life-threatening gunshot wound. Detectives were able to identify the alleged shooter and obtained an arrest warrant. Officials say this is an isolated incident and there is no threat to the general public. Anyone that may have information on the incident, however, is asked to call the Washington County Sheriff's Office at 207-255-8308.
The Maine troop greeters have pledged to be there for service members as they travel through the Bangor International Airport, day or night, rain or shine. Today, members of the group showed up to memorialize some of their fallen friends during their annual brick dedication ceremony. Our chief photographer, Dave Simpson, was there and has the story.
For over 30 years, the Bangor veterans and their families and supporters have been greeting troop planes which have landed in Bangor. The emotional high from greeting these troops is equally as much for the troop greeters as it is for the troops who pass through Bangor. We honor today Judy Boothby, Ron Bradman, Peter Jones, Thomas Kelly, Gladys Knowles, Lori Newcomb, and Marion Krutnacki. And that significant emotional event of stepping your first time on U.S. soil is something that you remember for the rest of your lives. And to have a group of 30 or 40 people applauding you as you come down the hallway and to receive the thanks and the handshake is really something that stays with you forever.
Today, 7 more names and 7 more bricks were added to the pavilion at Bangor International Airport.
Well, Acadia National Park plans to welcome an influx of visitors this holiday weekend. And as our Callie Warren reports, it took a lot of effort to get the park's trails ready following severe storms this winter.
We are so thrilled to welcome people back to Acadia National Park for Memorial Day weekend.
Crews at Acadia National Park have been hard at work preparing a safe area for those experiencing Bar Harbor's sights and sounds for Memorial Day weekend.
Right now we're standing on Ocean Path. This is one of the most used trails here. And in those January storms, this trail had a few significant washouts. We were able to make some repairs here in time for Memorial Day weekend.
After winter storm damage contributed to erosion and displaced rocks and trees on beaches, park crews have cleared and restructured spaces to be safe for all.
Over the winter, we had a couple of severe storms, so you'll notice a little bit of storm damage still here in the park. So some of these boulders were washed up from this really high storm surge.
As visitors come from far and wide this holiday weekend, travelers already at the park say they're grateful for the added safety measures.
Always thankful for our park rangers and those who are working on trails, across the United States.
This was kind of my first time, really taking the charge and leading where the hikes are and where we're going, and so the trails were maintained well. So
yeah.
I think they're doing a great job.
For a little bit more of a novice, I found it super accessible, well managed for sure.
To view current park conditions, visit our website at foxbangor.com. In Bar Harbor, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
When you see that scenery, I just think of one thing, please take me there immediately.
Yeah, we were kind of
We both kind of said that. We just want to go now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's just a great day to be there. So glad that all these people from around the country are coming to experience it for the first time. It's really an amazing place to be.
It's our very special gem here in Maine. Alrighty, folks. Well, let's go ahead and hit pause here, peek outside, and get a first check of our forecast.
Thank you so much, Beth and Peter. Our first weather today is brought to you by Pet Care by Lindsay. It is an in-home care a provider servicing the greater Bangor, Waterville, Ellsworth, Bar Harbor, and Mid-Coast areas. And temperature-wise, though, look at this. Back to near summer-like weather into those upper 70s. A couple of mid-70s right at the coast. Everyone got blessed with some of these 70s. Up north, Greenville, Millinocket area, low to mid-70s out there earlier today. Now, of course, we're a little bit cooler now. We are into those evening hours. We did have a couple of sprinkles here and there. Other than that, staying dry, and the next several days not looking bad at all. Now, cloud cover, I was looking at this the last couple of weeks. We've had a lot of cloud cover the last 2 weeks or so. Maybe a couple of days where we had some partly to mostly cloudy skies. Other than that, we've seen mostly cloudy to cloudy skies all over the area. Now, overnight tonight, though, we're going to continue to stay clear. Temperature-wise, though, back in those upper 40s to lower 50s. Beth and Peter?
All right.
Yep, so things looking pretty nice overnight.
Pretty clear overnight. Well, coming up on ABC 7 News at 6, our Devin Dagnall highlights a local gem on this week's Destination Devin.
And Ames Elementary students, veterans, and local first responders gather to honor lives lost defending our country. Those stories and more when we come right back.
You've always known what you wanted, no matter how far down the road it looked. We're here to help you get there. Brewer Federal Credit Union. BrewerFCU.org.
Are your basement walls bowing, crumbling, or failing? Hi, I'm Tony Hafford with TC Hafford Basement Systems, all things basementy. Our Stable Walk wall system offers a patented, affordable, and permanent solution to save your foundation walls. It stabilizes, fills voids, and structurally repairs, leaving a new smooth surface. All the strength of new walls. Call TC Hafford Basement Systems today for all things basementy.
While politicians talked, President Trump fought for working people. He took on China and secured the border. I'm Austin Terrio, former NASCAR driver and small business owner. I'm proud to have President Trump's endorsement. Together we'll secure the border, stop Biden's electric vehicle mandate, and bring back American manufacturing. I'll fight to make sure our best days are ahead.
Endorsed by President Trump. Austin Terrio for Congress.
I'm Austin Terrio, and I approve this message.
Hi, I'm Barry Gass, and my grandfather started Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear right here in Orono in 1911. Just after World War II, my father ran the business for decades. Now, with my wife and wonderful staff, we are continuing the tradition of bringing the American West to Maine. Our authentic Western boots are handcrafted for comfort, style, work, and casual wear. Saddle up with our premium selection of top quality saddles. Top it off with the perfect hat from classic to modern ranch. Gass Horse Supply and Western Wear in Orono, where the American West comes alive in Maine.
You've lived quite a life. Now, it's time to live it up. We're here to help you enjoy all you've earned. Brewer Federal Credit Union. BrewerFCU.org.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
On the surface, Nervous Nellie's Jams and Jellies is exactly what it sounds like, a business that makes delicious jams and jellies. But you can't really understand the full scope of it unless you stop by for a visit. But for a taste of it, you can check out this week's Destination Devin.
What we are changes over time, and I have to reinvent it every time somebody asks me.
Nervous Nellie's Jams and Jellies started back in 1984 when artist Peter Biritz was still trying to figure out what he wanted to do.
I got out of graduate school and I couldn't find a job, so I started the jelly business, which wasn't a very logical thing to do.
Things started small, with just a raspberry bush in Peter's parents' backyard and a short list of people to mail to. Over time, the business grew, but after the first decade, it was far from successful.
If I'd had a sound business sense, I would have quit.
Luckily, things really turned around when people started to visit Nervous Nellie's, but they weren't visiting to see how their favorite jellies were made. At least that wasn't the only reason. More and more people were stopping by the cannery to enjoy Peter's ever-expanding showcase of artwork.
It's called found object sculpture, which means that it's made out of junk.
After decades of work, Peter's art spans over multiple acres, ranging from standalone pieces to giant elaborate scenes, all with their own unique, minute details.
First-time visitors are just amazed, and people who have been here and encourage new people to come say, I can't explain it, you just have to go.
Actually, what I hear them say a lot is this is the best place they've ever seen.
Surprisingly, after 40 years of business, Peter and his wife Ann Beard still aren't quite sure what they want to do with the business, but they're happy to do it all the same.
We don't have a business plan or business goals. A lot of the way the business evolves has to do with what people respond to.
So I never thought we'd be in business this long, so I didn't plan for it.
On Deer Isle, Devin Dagnall, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Wow, what a great spot. And, you know, there's definitely a lot more there than you'd think by just reading the label. So what an experience for people who want to maybe go and experience that place.
You gotta marvel at a business whose business plan was to not have a plan.
Right.
You know?
And then just see where it goes.
See where it goes. I mean, I guess that's a really great way to be flexible and to not lose out on opportunities because you're not into, you know, like a rigid chute of where you think you need to be.
Yeah.
But that's just, I just think it's kind of funny.
Yeah, well, what a day trip that would be.
We love it. All right.
Well, coming up in sports, MCI alum Emma Burr competed at the NCAA Track and Field Championships this week.
How she got there and what's next for her, coming up.
Your local professional eco-friendly office space partner is WVII Business Solutions, your one-stop shop to get the job done. Handling all your office furniture and printing machine needs at an affordable price. Offering full system integration into your workplace and local service on everything we sell. We can even remote monitor your system with just-in-time inventory and service need assessments. Little to no downtime gives you peace of mind. At WVII Business Solutions, your solution is only an email or a phone call away.
Who has the best kept secret in Penobscot County?
We do!
Welcome to Maple Lane Farms, a fifth-generation family farm that's committed to providing you with the best quality products. Our farm-raised local and sustainable meat is flash frozen to lock in the freshness and natural flavors. Experience the top-notch quality of our meat that's naturally raised without any antibiotics or hormones. Get the best of both worlds, quality and affordability. Try Maple Lane Farms today, the candy store for the carnivore.
Hello, this is George Whelan with Down East Direct Cremation. Now, anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, from the comfort of your desktop or the convenience of your mobile device, you can summon transport and arrange a simple, affordable, respectful Down East Direct Cremation for your deceased loved one. Just by using the button exclusively at downeastdirectcremation.com. All you need is the location address of the person who has died, their vital statistics information, a valid credit card for payment, and that's it. No need to pick up the telephone, no need to answer a bunch of questions, no need to come into the store, and it's still just $9.75 complete. It's so easy, even I can do it. For more information, visit us at downeastdirectcremation.com or call us at 207-225-5332. Simple, affordable, respectful. The button, only at downeastdirectcremation.com.
Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Triumph Professional Cleaning Services, providing outstanding commercial cleaning services to Eastern and Central Maine. Triumph Professional Cleaning, creating an environment of cleanliness.
Hey everybody, Ryan Sudol here. Thank you so much for joining us. The Celtics are 2 wins away from the NBA Finals after taking a 2-0 series lead last night over the Pacers, and they may not have that lead if not for Jaylen Brown. After making that miracle 3 to send Game 1 to overtime, Brown kept on his roll Thursday with a playoff career-high 40 points in the 126-110 win. This coming off the heels of not being named to any of the All-NBA teams. When asked about whether he feels slighted by this or feels underrated, to put it lightly, he was very blunt.
I mean, we 2 games from the finals, so, you know, honestly, I don't got the time to get. I mean, I watch guys get praised and anointed. I feel like it's half as talented as me. At this point in my life, I just embrace it. You know, it comes with being who I am and what I stand for. So I just come out and put my best foot forward. I get better every single year, and whether people appreciate it or not, it is what it is.
All right, now let's hit the track. MCI alum and current Thomas College freshman Emma Burr wowed folks and herself by making it to the Junior National Olympics last year, and this year is no different. NCAA's in her first collegiate season. Take a look. Thomas College freshman and MCI alum Emma Burr continues to take her career to the most unlikely places. This time, the NCAA Division III Track and Field National Championships.
I definitely didn't think I'd get into nationals my freshman year. I'm just grateful.
Not only did Burr, who competed in the heptathlon Thursday and Friday, make it on her first try, but she is the first Thomas athlete to ever make it.
I feel a little pressure. I don't want to be the first and the worst, but it's kind of an honor. It's kind of cool. My name will always be there.
Though committed to her craft as an individual, Burr is the consummate team player. She competed in 11 events at the NAC Conference Championships just to help Thomas win the team title. Even her coach was shocked.
Is it worth the team title if you're sacrificing your ability at New England and your ability at, like, if you make it to nationals? And I was like, yeah, and then I'll deal with the fallout after.
The fallout? Winning 5 NAC titles plus that team title. She also had 3 New England titles and placed second in the heptathlon there, qualifying for nationals and placing her amongst some elite competition.
They're like freak athletes that do the heptathlon. Like Grace Sally, she seeded first for the heptathlon, also seeded first for high jump and seeded to place in triple jump and is in a relay.
But being around those types of athletes that are so good at so much nationally only makes her more excited and determined.
And I also want to be one of those athletes that do that. I'm hoping to place top 3 in the NCAA, which would be very difficult, but that's what I'm hoping the next 3 years. That's where I'll get to.
Great stuff there. That's all the time we have for sports. Here's your full 5-day forecast.
Thank you, Ryan. Our main weather today is brought to you by Varney Ford. Varney Ford in Newport gives 1 full year maintenance on every new and used vehicle they sell. Come visit them and see their huge selection of cars and trucks, the nice car and truck people. And speaking of weather, lots of severe weather going on. Take a look at this down south. Illinois, you are really ramped up, and it is just going to get worse and worse into the overnight hours. Chicago, same story. You are looking at severe thunderstorms possibly in the region the next day or so. Even as a little bit of snow, take a look at this. Right up in North Dakota, we are talking a little bit of that rain and snow mix in some spots. Unbelievable, right? It's almost June, and we're still talking snow all the way down to the surface, not only in mountainous areas, but we're talking all the way down to pretty much sea level. Wow, incredible. It's almost June, though, but that is talking right by the Canadian border. For us, though, of course, no snow. We were looking at a couple of sprinkles here and there. Other than that, staying dry for today. But we're not going to stay dry for long. We are looking at more chances of sprinkles by Sunday, and then as we get into beginning to middle of next week, that's when more and more chances of rain start to arrive. We're not talking anything heavy, but still just something in the region. A few sprinkles at least the Sunday into Monday. Temperature-wise, though, back in those upper 70s here in town, mid-70s up north, Millinocket area. Greenville was at 71 at the coast. We were looking at Rockland, Bar Harbor, Machias back in those mid-70s. So everybody saw a wonderful day outside. If you are swimming in the ocean, just to know these water temperatures still a little bit cool. Back in those mid to upper 50s right at the coast, of course. And then just north, these darker blue colors indicating some low 50s as water temperatures. Still better than Lake Superior. That water temperatures are still in those upper 30s to lower 40s. So at least we are warmer than that. Speaking of warmer, look at this. Back into those mid-70s Saturday into Sunday. Monday for Memorial Day, a little bit cooler, and then right back up into well above average temperatures middle of the week. So we are talking mainly 70s taking over here in town. Now the winds are pretty light, it's around 5 to 10 miles per hour. A couple of spots do have some more gustier winds, 12 miles an hour in Bar Harbor, 14 in Waterville, and that will be continuing overnight with a mostly clear sky. sky. Temperature-wise, though, we're going to be back in those mid-40s, maybe some upper 40s in some spots. Still some breezy conditions. For tomorrow, though, beautiful day. Mid-70s outside, mostly sunny. A little bit of a breeze out of the northwest, gusting around 20 miles an hour. Still not too bad. Our extended forecast outlook does show a few sprinkles possible on Sunday into Monday. More rain will be in the area by Tuesday. Beth and Peter?
Alrighty, Conrad, thank you.
And there's more to come after the break. Stay with us.
Buying a home is a big family experience.
Oh, where else would you want to live?
Every story's different.
I grew up on another farm, and now I own my own.
I got introduced to a credit union when I was in college. Whether they got one customer that day to 1,000 customers that day, it feels like you are the one. The lender that you're talking to, you'll see him after work at the T-ball game. It is our dream home. It's heaven, I guess.
Did you get mommy?
The local credit union can give you that peace of mind from start to finish, and that's what they did here.
What's the score of the game?
The new Hyundai Elantra with America's best warranty. There's joy in every journey. Lease an Elantra for only $189 a month or get 3.89% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. See your local Bangor Hyundai dealer.
While politicians talked, President Trump fought for working people. He took on China and secured the border. I'm Austin Terrio, former NASCAR driver and small business owner. I'm proud to have President Trump's endorsement. Together we'll secure the border, stop Biden's electric vehicle mandate, and bring back American manufacturing. I'll fight to make sure our best days are ahead.
Endorsed by President Trump. Austin Terrio for Congress.
I'm Austin Terrio, and I approve this message.
Roto-Rooter has served the greater Bangor area and beyond for 35 years, offering plumbing, hydrojetting, snaking, descaling, video inspection, and grease interceptor cleaning services. For all your residential and commercial clogs, call Roto-Rooter today, 990-1234.
And away go troubles down the drain. Roto-Rooter.
Welcome back. It's a tradition draped in recognition and remembering those who are no longer with us. For 10 years, Ames Elementary students, veterans, and local first responders have gathered to place flags upon veterans' final resting places. Our Doug Banks takes us to Grove Cemetery in Belfast.
It's a simple phrase that paints a vivid reality.
They say a soldier dies twice, once on the battlefield and when their name is said for the last time.
On Friday, Ames Elementary joined the Belfast Veterans of Foreign Wars for the 10th annual flag placing ceremony.
To me, it means that we're celebrating the veterans that died serving our country and recognizing people that wouldn't normally be recognized.
It's an honor for us to have the kids come down from the school to participate.
Knowing that I am respected people and I've honored people who have sacrificed their lives.
As part of the VFW's Remember, Honor, and Teach program, veterans and local first responders accompanied students through Grove Cemetery, placing flags upon the veterans' final resting place.
I hope to learn here how many veterans served our country and what they did to help.
Absolutely amazing. We are so blessed in this community to have everybody always comes out to support us, to help us. It's amazing to be in this community.
As students boarded the RSU 71 buses, one local veteran hopes they carry with them
And the message that when they're not here with a crowd, the next time they're in a cemetery, they see a headstone, they say that soldier's name, so that soldier's name continues to live on, so that soldier doesn't die a second time.
In Belfast, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Beautiful story.
Seriously, and it's just such an important and powerful message that they're passing along to that next generation, and you can tell just how much it's resonating with them too.
Nothing like a simple but powerful message.
Yeah.
Alrighty, folks, that's going to do it for us. From everyone here at ABC 7 News, take care and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
alert, tornado warnings, record temps, strong thunderstorms. From the roads to the sky, what to expect as the holiday weekend kicks off. More Americans turn to World News Tonight with David Muir, the most watched newscast on television.
Harris Lumber is
38. Okay, now I'll take a look at the photographs.
If you look here and scroll to your left.
No, that's President Obama and Michelle dancing. They weren't at the party.
It was the pictures previous.
Wait, that's a nice picture of them dancing.
Maybe it's the other way. Maybe scroll to her left. There you go.
All right, not a big deal. You owe $538 for your rent. That's it, we're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
My opinion's the only one that counts.
I'm happy with it.
I'm happy I'm out.
Make sure you know who you're rooming with and make sure you know their financial situation.
You can't trust everybody and everybody's not your friend.
This is Fox 22 News Tonight.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Beth Jones.
And I'm Peter Dubois. First tonight, a class action lawsuit filed in Penobscot County Superior Court last week accuses Northern Light Health of sharing people's personal, private medical information with Facebook, Google, and other sites.
The plaintiff in the lawsuit is a patient identified as Jane Doe. The suit alleges that as early as October 2018, Northern Light Health, quote, knowingly configured and implemented into its website code-based tracking devices known as pixels, which collected and transmitted patients' private information to Facebook and other third parties without patients' knowledge or authorization. It also alleges that those trackers, including the metapixel, tracked users' interactions with the Northern Light website or portal and transmitted the information, including IP addresses and pages viewed, search terms, button clicks, and forms